Essay plans are the most effective way to revise for GCSE English Literature and GCSE English Language, but so many students get this wrong. So this video is going to detail the exact method I used to secure grade 9s consistently in both English Literature and Language. Also on the note, I have my essay plans for Romeo and Juliet, Frankenstein, and Journey's End for sale, so email me if you're interested. And the method for creating these essay plans is really quite simple. First of all, you need to start by finding a good and comprehensive list of every single character, theme, and setting that you could be testing on in the exam. This is really important so that nothing you haven't planned for comes up in the exam, so you're prepared for any essay title. The second step is when you now have to go to past papers and analyse what's come up already. Any major characters or themes that have already come up in past papers are unlikely to come up again, and therefore you can put these essay plans at the bottom of your priority list and instead prioritise major characters or settings that haven't come up yet, as they're highly likely to come up in your exam. Make sure you're planning these first, so even if you don't get to finishing all your plans, you've at least planned the most likely essay titles, so you're ready for the exam. The next part of this framework that's really important is having a good quality paragraph structure. The one that I personally use goes point, reference, technique, effect, zooming, or another technique, effect, and then link. And anywhere between these you can add some context that fits the question. This is important because you need to make sure you're covering all the specification points. Another top grade 9 tip for your English literature plans would be making sure that your paragraph arguments and points cover a progression over the whole play or text. This is ensuring that you've considered the whole text in your answer instead of focusing on a singular scene. That's not what they want to see. You can do that when you zoom in to do word level analysis. However, you really need to be analysing the whole text and finding real patterns that you can analyse throughout the whole text. This is what will really be impressive. However, something that's more important than all those points made before is having good content in your essay. And first-rate tutors have the perfect way to do this. I used their YouTube videos to revise GCSE English Literature and Language, and they were very useful. And this year, first-rate tutors are offering their English Literature Week, which is going through all different texts that you might be taking, for example Macbeth, Jekyll and Hyde, and even unseen poetry, which is useful to everyone. This would be a great opportunity to ensure your essays actually have high-level content that the examiners are looking for, and hear from experts in the game on the best way to get the best mark in English literature, so make sure not to miss out on this opportunity. Moreover, first-rate tutors are also offering GCSE English Language Sunday classes, which are going to be the perfect opportunity to hone in on those skills you need for English language, which can often be quite hard to revise for. Not only this, but the classes are also going to go through model essays, which will be the perfect way to get a start on your adaptable essay plans for the 40-mark GCSE English language questions. But there's only limited spaces on these programs, so make sure to be quick. To give you an example of how to create adaptable essay plans, I have one of my plans here that I used for my Romeo and Juliet Fate essay. And as you can see from the title includes many different themes, including Juliet's parental figures, the pseudo-parental figures, and fate. By having 3 different themes here, and making sure my analysis fits these themes, I can use this same paragraph for all 3 different essays. As you can see, here's the content of the paragraph. And what I did is I tried to make sure that my context and analysis for this paragraph was able to fit in 3 different themes at least, to make sure that I can use this paragraph for all those 3 different essays. This saved me so much time during my GCSE, meaning I could really focus on making my essays high level, and I think that paid off, and it meant that I didn't have to spend as much time memorizing the essays, which is also quite boring because making them was a lot more interesting. And one more note, given that you've seen the quality of these essay plans, I really think that if you take Journey's End, Frankenstein, or Romeo and Juliet, you should really think about purchasing these plans, because as you can see, they are really quite high level, and they will definitely help you in securing your target grade for your GCSE English. But some people might ask, why do you need to go through all this extra prep before the exam? Why can't you just memorize quotes and go straight into the exam and do it that way? It seems a lot easier, a lot less time spent revising. However, I would strongly suggest you don't simply memorize quotes, but instead make essay plans. The advantage of this is that it makes the exam easier. You want to make the exam as easy as possible for yourself. By using essay plans, you don't need to spend time thinking of deep analysis in the exam or trying to figure out lines of argument, because you likely would have planned the question already and hopefully written it out, so you can avoid the time pressures of the exam and instead simply write out what you've already memorized and get the grade. Another point is that your speed improves. As I said before, English literature and language exams are both time pressured, and so making sure you're able to write competently with speed is a very important skill. But making essay plans makes this all the more easier, and so definitely make sure that you're considering making essay plans if you haven't. And if you have, make sure to make your essay plans really good and commit to using this as your revision method. Another point why making these plans is really beneficial: it allows you to get deeper analysis. It allows you to really use those complex literary techniques. You can spend time making those essay plans and making sure you have complex literary techniques in there that are going to impress the examiners. This will make sure that your arguments are cohesive and not all over the place, which will make you have an overall higher quality of writing, which will then lead to a higher grade. And lastly, it allows you to be more confident and less nervous in the exam. Nerves can easily take over in the exam, making even high level students fail the exam because they weren't able to write under intense pressure. But anything to calm these nerves is beneficial, and essay plans definitely calm the nerves because you've basically done the essay already. All you need to do is write it out. And so I definitely suggest considering using essay plans. And lastly, I want to say thank you to the sponsors of this video, First Rate Tutors. I really think you should check out their English language masterclasses and their GCSE English Literature Week. And also don't forget to inquire about my English literature essay plans, as I think they could really help as well. Thanks for watching. Bye.